Good evening, guys. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
So we'll get started. So yesterday we completed 13.1, right? Sorry, 16.1 and 16.2. Then we are supposed to move on to the next one, that is the axiomatic approach to probability. Generally, axioms are statements without proofs. Okay. So if you say an axiomatic approach towards probability, then we are going to define certain formulae for probability. Okay. So axiomatic approach is just another way of describing probability of an event. In this approach, some axioms or rules are depicted to assign probabilities. Right. Let S be the sample space, that is the total number of outcomes that are possible of a random experiment. The probability P is a real valued function. So they are trying to define it in terms of a function whose domain is the power set of S and the range is between 0 to 1. So that is, if you take any event, right? If you write the probability of that event, then you can say that it is definitely greater than or equal to 0. That is the first thing. So probability of an event is greater than or equal to 0. So I hope you're able to understand, right? Because probability of any outcome can be 0 also when it is completely failing, or it can be greater than 0 and it will be less than or equal to 1 also, right? So if I take the probability of sample space, then what is it going to give us? It is going to give us a 1. Third, if E and F are mutually exclusive event, then the probability of E union F is equal to probability of E plus probability of F. Okay. So what I want to do here is, I want you guys to understand this concept with the help of a Venn diagram. Okay. So let's say this whole rectangular piece is the sample space. Let's say there is an event that is happening and it has all the possible outcomes in this shaded region. Then I can say this has the number of elements in E. And if I say the number of elements in sample space as n of S, then we know the fact that probability is equal to favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. So here, what are the favorable outcomes? It is the number of elements in that particular event divided by the number of elements in the sample space. Then this number of elements in the event by number of elements in sample space is what is called as the probability of E. So this is the back-end definition of P of E. Right. Now, if N of E is equal to N of S, then probability of E will be equal to probability of S, right, in that scenario. So what will be the probability of S? It will be the number of elements in S divided by the number of elements in S. That is the reason why it has come out as 1. Guys, am I clear till this step? This is a very, very simple aspect. Any doubt? Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. So the third one is the most important one. If E and F are mutually exclusive events, right? If E and F are mutually exclusive events, then what are they trying to say? Probability of E union F is equal to probability of E plus probability of F. Okay. See, let me take this example. Let's say there are 2 events from the sample space. Okay. This is event E, this is event F. Let's say the number of elements in E is n of E and the number of elements in F is n of F. Then if I ask you, what are the number of elements in E union F? What will you say? Use the basic concepts of set and tell me. It is the number of elements in E plus the number of elements in F. Is that all? Are you able to understand what I'm asking?
Minus number of elements in the intersection.
number of elements in E intersection F. Okay. So now I will divide with n of S on both sides. If I do that, number of elements in E union F divided by the number of elements in the sample space is equal to n of E by n of S plus n of F divided by n of S minus n of E intersection F divided by n of S. So what are the number of elements in E union F divided by n of S called as? This will be the probability of the event E union F. This will be equal to the probability of E plus probability of F minus probability of E intersection F. Is this clear? Right. If E and F are mutually exclusive, if they are mutually exclusive, then probability of E intersection F is equal to 0. Correct? Because why? It will be like this thing. Number of elements in E intersection F will be a null set. Right? When that is going to be the case, sorry, E intersection F will be null set and the number of elements in E intersection F will be 0. So if I take this and substitute it here, then what will I get? P of E union F is equal to P of E plus P of F. You will learn all these things next year. Actually, the proof that I'm explaining is from 12th standard. That is why in your 11th, they mentioned it as axiomatic theorem. If you guys already know this proof, well and good. If not, please make a note. Is it clear? Shall I move on?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next. P of E union null set is equal to what? See, probability of E union null set is equal to probability of E probability set minus probability of E intersection null set. Correct? So it is probability of E plus probability of null set. What is the probability of E intersection null set? What is the probability of E intersection null set? This will be a 0. Because if you take the intersection of a set with a null set, what will you get? You will get a null set. So null set has 0 number of elements. So it is going to be 0. Right. So I can write probability of E union phi is equal to probability of E alone. Okay. So with all this knowledge, we will try to solve certain problems. It may be noted that, okay, singleton means just one element is called an elementary event, and for notational convenience, okay, let's forget about this. Okay. Oh, not sorry, we can't forget it. Listen. It follows from the axiomatic definition of probability that if you take a single event, right, probability of omega I, that is one of the events from the sample space, then the probability of that event is greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 1. That is what is the range of it. Range of probability is 0 to 1 within closed interval. Secondly, if there are n events that are happening, then the probability of all the events put together will be equal to 1. And for any event A, probability of A can be written as sum of the probability of all the singleton events that are happening. Okay, let's see them in application. Don't memorize them like a formula. I'll tell you what are all the things you need to have in your mind. Just have these things in your mind. While doing problems, I'll explain you the techniques. Okay. Now listen. For example, a coin is tossed. Sorry, a coin tossing experiment. We can assign the number half to each of the outcomes, head and tail. So probability of head is half and the probability of tail is half. So clearly this assignment satisfies both the condition. That is, each number is neither less than 0 nor greater than 1. So that's what is happening. So these are all the things that you already know. Similarly, if you take the probability of head plus probability of tail, that will be 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, which is giving you a 1. That is the second one. Sum of all the probabilities is equal to 1. Right. Therefore, in the case, we can say that probability h is equal to half and probability of t is equal to half. If we take p of h is equal to 1 by 4, then the probability of t should be 3 by 4. Okay. Let us forget about it. I'll do a problem and show. So let us consider a sample space S where there are elements omega 1, omega 2 till omega 6. Okay. Which of the following assignments of probabilities to each outcome are valid? Tell me. Omega 1, omega 2, omega 3, omega 4, omega 5, omega 6 are there. There are 6 singletons associated with the sample space. Then probability of each singleton should be a number less than or equal to 1, greater than or equal to 0. Is this condition getting satisfied in 1? Is it getting satisfied? Everything is 1 by 6. Similarly, sum of all the probabilities of omega I should be equal to 1. So 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6, it is added to itself 6 times, is going to give you a 1. So is this valid or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. What about the second one?
Yes, sir.
It is valid because 1 is equal to 1. The other things are equal to 0, but sum of all the probabilities put together is equal to 1. What about the third one? 1 by 8, 2 by 3, 1 by 3, 1 by 3, minus 1 by 4, and minus 1 by 3. So these two are negative. So negative probabilities are not possible. So these outcomes are not possible. Similarly, I have 1 by 12, 1 by 12, 1 by 6, 1 by 6, 1 by 6, but this 3 by 2 is disturbing me. Why? 3 by 2 is
Greater than
1.5. Yes, it is 1.5, greater than 1. So this is not going to work. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6. So though the first property will get managed, probability of each outcome is less than 1 and greater than or equal to 0 or strictly greater than 0. But what will happen to the sum? If I add these two itself, I'll get 1.1. So this is also not going to work. Right? Is that clear? No. 16.4.1. So let us say we are going to see the probability of an event. Let S be the sample space associated with the experiment of examining 3 consecutive pins produced by a machine and classified as good, which is non-defective, and bad, which is defective. We get 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 or 3 defective pins as a result of this examination. Now listen to this. Okay. So what is the experiment all about? There is a machine, and that machine will manufacture what? It will manufacture pens. So during the process of manufacturing, you might get a good pen or a defective one, good one or a bad one, right? So what are all the possible outcomes? Mission 1, mission 2, mission 3. Good, 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 bad, 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 bad. It's like tossing 2 coins only, no? Good, good, bad, bad, good, good, bad, bad. Then you have good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, and good, bad. You're able to understand this? So this is going to be the sample space, right? Now, what are they asking? Where B stands for the defective, okay, this is okay. Now we need to find the probabilities assigned to the outcomes. So what is the probability of getting this outcome, guys? What is the probability of getting all the 3 pens to be good? It is 1 by 8. So each outcome that is there in the sample space, each singleton will have like probability. That is, each one is a likely event to happen, right? So likely event means everything will have the same probability. Are you guys able to understand what they're trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now they are trying to define an event and we'll try to find the probability. Let the event A be where there is exactly one defective pen. Where is exactly one defective pen? So exactly one defective pen means good, good, bad, good, and bad, good, good. Right. And B is an event, there is at least 2 defective pens. At least 2 means good, bad, 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 good, bad, 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 good, or it can be like where everything is bad. So 4 outcomes. So what is going to be the probability of event A to occur? Now you tell me. What is the probability of event A to occur?
3 by 8.
3 elements in the sample space divided by 8. So this 3 by 8 can be obtained by adding this by adding 1 bad, no, this 1 by 8, this 1 by 8, and this 1 by 8. If you add all the three, you will get 3 by 8. Similarly, what is the probability of getting B? It is 4 divided by 8, which is half. Okay. So this is how you find the probability of an event. I already told you what is the probability of an event. It is the number of elements in that event divided by the number of elements in the sample space. That's it. You need not do anything outside this. Okay. So let us consider the experiment of tossing a coin twice. So what is the sample space, guys? Head, head, tail, tail, head, tail, head, tail. Correct? So let the probabilities be assigned to the outcome. So what is the probability of each event? 1 by 4, 1 by 4, 1 by 4, and 1 by 4. Now, okay, they themselves assigned it. So these things are not the ones which are derived, okay? Let the following probabilities be assigned to the outcomes. So they are assigning some probability, 1 by 4, 1 by 7, 2 by 7, and 9 by 28. So this is the probability of that particular event to happen. Clearly, this assignment satisfies the axiomatic approach, yes or no? So each probability is less than 1. And secondly, can you add everything and tell me, are you getting 1? So LCM is 28. So here you will get 7 plus 4 plus 8 plus 9. So 17, 17 plus 4, 21, 21 plus 7, 28 by 28. It is giving you a 1. Yes, it is satisfying. Now, let us find the probability of the event E where both the tosses yield the same result. So both the tosses yield the same result means both should be head or both should be tail. So E will be head head or tail tail. Okay. So what is the probability of event E to happen? Now what are you supposed to do? Probability of event E to happen is 1 by 4 plus 9 by 28. So it will be 17 divided by 28. Correct? 16. 16 divided by 28, or this is going to be 4 divided by 7. Okay. Next is for the event F, exactly 2 heads. So exactly 2 heads is event F is equal to both are heads. So probability of getting both heads is 1 by 4. That is what they have defined, guys. You're able to understand? So you're able to understand this axiomatic approach. What they're trying to say is, they will define an event, and for that event, they will tell you the probability. So you have to use the axiomatic approach to find the probability of the event they're trying to define. Okay. Next, what we will see is probability of equally likely outcomes. So equally likely means every particular outcome has equal probability. Okay, let a sample space of an experiment be S is equal to omega 1, omega 2, so on till omega n. Let all the outcomes are equally likely to occur. That is, the chance of occurrence of each of the sample event must be the same. So probability of every event is, let's say if it is P, then the sum of all the P's put together should give you 1. Okay, from that what they are trying to say is the number of P's n multiplied with P will be equal to 1. Why is it so? Because when you add all the P's together n times, you will get np is equal to 1. So P will be equal to 1 divided by n. So from this, they are trying to define something like this. Let S be the sample space and E be an event. And the number of elements in the sample space, if I take it as n, and the number of elements in the event, if I take it as m, if each outcome is equally likely to occur, then the probability of that particular event will be equal to number of favorable outcomes of E, that is the number of elements of E divided by the number of elements in the sample space. This is what I had been telling from the beginning. Okay. So if it is clear till this step, we are almost done with the major concepts. Now we will see only the algebraic part. Guys, is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So listen. So probability of event A or B. So what is the probability of A union B? I already gave you the formula, guys. What is it? So it is probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. That's it. So this is what they're saying. For that, what they have done is they have taken some example and they try to prove it using the sum and difference of all those values. I already proved it using the Venn diagram method. Okay. So this Venn diagram method is what I have proved. So from this, we know that for mutually exclusive events, what will happen? Probability of A intersection B will be 0. So probability of A union B will be probability of A plus probability of B. So what is the probability of event not A? If probability of A is number of elements in A divided by the number of elements in sample space, then what will be the probability of A dash? It will be the number of elements in A dash divided by number of elements in sample space. But the number of elements in A dash is the number of elements in sample space minus the number of elements in A divided by n of S. Accepted? So from the sample space, if you remove the number from the number of elements in the sample space, if you remove the number of elements in A, that will give you the number of elements in A complementary. So this will be equal to how much? 1 minus number of elements in A divided by the number of elements in S. That is 1 minus probability of A. So this is a known fact, right? I told you yesterday. So probability of A plus probability of A dash will always be equal to 1. Right? So this is the thing you are supposed to remember. Probability of A dash is equal to probability of not A, which is 1 minus probability of A. Is it clear, guys? No. Example 10. So one card is drawn from a well-shuffled deck of 52 cards. If each outcome is equally likely, calculate the probability that the card will be a diamond. So A is, so samples, number of elements in sample space is how much? 52. So number of elements for the event A to occur, that is diamond to occur, is how much? So how many diamonds are there? There are 13. So what is the probability of getting a diamond? It is 1/4. Means you have 25% chance to get a diamond. Next. B is not getting an ace. So number of elements in B is equal to how much? Can I write it as 1 minus number of elements in B dash? Or I can directly, how many A's are there?
4.
4. So number of elements in B will be 48. So what is the probability of B? It will be 48 divided by 52. So divisible by 13, huh?
12 by 13, so 12 by
12 by
4.
13. So 12 divisible by 4. So 12 by 13 is what you're going to get. Next, you have a black card. So C is getting a black card. So how many black cards are there? Number of elements in C, number of black cards is this and all, or basics. I want immediate responses. What are the number of elements in black card? 26. So what is the probability of C? 26 divided by 52. So you have 50% chance of getting it. Not getting a diamond. So
3 by 4.
D is equal to 1 minus probability of A. So 1 minus 1 by 4, which will be 3 by 4. Not a black card. So probability of E is equal to 1 minus probability of C. So 1 minus half, which is again a half. So simple. 11th one. A bag contains 9 discs, of which 4 are red, 3 are blue, and 2 are yellow. So how many? Red are 4, blue 3, yellow 2. The discs are similar in shape, means they have like probability. They have likely outcomes. A disc is drawn at random from the bag. Calculate the probability that it will be a red. So probability of red is equal to number of elements in red divided by the number of elements in the sample space. So that will be 4 out of 9. Right. So for you to get an yellow, probability of yellow is equal to number of elements in yellow divided by the number of elements in sample space. So it will be 2 divided by 9. So tell me for the next one, blue kevolada? 3 by 9.
1 by 3.
1 by 3. Not blue will be 2 by 3. 1 minus 1 by 3, which is 2 by 3. So it is exactly the same thing you have learned in your 10th standard, except the fact that you're using the sample space concept. This is a good one. Either red or blue. So probability of red or blue. It is a probability of red plus probability of blue minus probability of red intersection blue. Okay. So what is the probability of getting red and blue in this scenario?
0.
Why is it 0?
Because we are picking only one disc at a time.
We are picking one disc. Had the question been 2 discs, no, it would have become tricky. So here it is 0. Probability of red is 4 by 9, and this is 2 by 9, correct? Which will be 6 by 9, which is 2/3. So there is 67%
Sir, actually, it's
probability.
7 by 9.
7 by 9, huh? Did I make any mistake? Oh, blue is 3 by 9, huh? Sorry. I wrote for red. So 3 by 9, it is 7 by 9. Good. Okay. Can we do one last problem from this? You guys can manage this, right? So you know the formula now. I'll do 2 more problems. Will you guys try the exercise?
Yes, sir.
Good. So let's do the 12th one. Two students, Anil and Ashima, appeared in an examination. The probability that Anil will qualify the examination, so probability of Anil qualifying the examination, we'll give a name to it. No, Anil and Ashima both are with A. So we'll define event E as Anil qualifying. So what is the probability of Anil qualifying? It is 0.05. And F is Ashima qualifying. So what is the probability of Ashima qualifying? It is 0.1. Correct? The probability that both will qualify the examination. So probability of E and F will be 0.02. So what is the probability that both Anil and Ashima will not qualify? So probability of E union F. So what is the probability of E union F, guys? What is the probability of E union F? So I gave you the formula already, right? What is the probability
P
of
of
E
F
union F?
plus P of E minus P of E intersection.
Minus P of E intersection F. No, that is right. That is the formula. But if I write it like E union F, what am I trying to say?
E or F.
So what is the, sorry, I missed the question. Both Anil and Ashima. So both should not qualify the exam. So both should not qualify is, okay, let me find out this value. So what is the probability of E? 0.05 plus probability of F is 0.1 minus probability of E intersection F is 0.02. Can you tell me what is the answer for this? 0.15 minus 0.02. How much is this? 0.13. Okay. So you know this De Morgan's rule. So what did they ask? E should not qualify and F also should not qualify. So A dash intersection B dash is equal to E union B the whole dash. So probability of E dash intersection F dash will be equal to probability of E union F dash. So how much will it be? This will be 1 minus probability of E union F. So 1 minus 0.13, which is 0.87. So there is 0.87 probability that both will not qualify the examination. Is it clear, guys? So in this chapter, you need to have the basics of your set theory. Tell me one thing, do you know this law or not? De Morgan's law.
Yes,
You know
sir.
this, right? Right. So that is the concept that we have used. Similarly, at least one of them will not qualify the examination. So at least one of them will not qualify the examination. So probability that E will qualify and F will not qualify, or probability of E will not qualify and F will qualify. So here they used at least one of them plus probability of both of them not qualifying. Okay. So that is actual meaning. I'm not saying I'm going to do it in this way. Try to understand. Is this the meaning of the statement that they gave? At least one of them will not qualify means E can qualify, F cannot. That is, Anil can qualify, Ashima will fail. Anil will fail, Ashima will pass, or both will fail. Right? So I can either use this formula to find out, or if I know that what is the probability of both of them qualifying simultaneously, I already know it, which is 0.02. Right? So then what is the probability that either of them, at least one of them will not qualify? So what is the probability that at least one will not qualify? So what will be the answer? 1 minus 0.02. So it will be 0.98. So there is 98% probability that either of them will not qualify the examination. And last, only one of them will qualify the examination. So only one of them means this should happen or this should happen. This should not happen. Is it clear? So probability of
Yes,
E
sir.
intersection F dash plus probability of E dash intersection F. So for probability of E intersection F dash, what can I write? I can write the formula as, so E intersection F dash means it is a we know this thing, right? Number of elements in E intersection F dash is equal to number of elements in E minus the number of elements in E intersection F. You know this formula? You guys know this? Similarly, number of elements in E dash intersection F is equal to number of elements in E dash minus the number of elements in E intersection F. Sorry, number of elements in F, sorry. Number of elements in F minus the number of elements in E intersection F. You know this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Then, if I divide it with sample space on both the sides, then probability of E intersection F dash, can I write it as probability of E minus probability of E intersection F plus, can I write this as probability of F minus probability of E intersection F? Now, what is the probability of E? 0.05 minus probability of E intersection F is 0.02 plus probability of F is 0.1 minus probability of E intersection F is 0.02. Solve this, you will get the answer as 0.11. It is a very, very, very good problem. So practice it again. I'm assuming that you guys understood. Okay. Shall I do one last problem? So there is a committee of 2 persons is to be selected from 2 men and 2 women. What is the probability that the committee will have no men? So total number of people, the number of elements in the sample space is 4. Right. So event E is no man. So what will be the number of elements in event E? From the 2 women available, you need to choose 2. Correct? That can be done in one way. So what is the probability of no man to occur? 1 divided by 1, it is going to be, sorry, 1 divided by, I made a mistake, I'm sorry. Total number of people are 4. So total number of people are 4. But what is the number of elements in sample space? Out of the 4 available people, your job is to form a committee of 2 people. So 4C2. So what is the probability of E? It is 1 out of 4C2. That is 2C2 out of 4C2. So 1 divided by, what is 4C2, guys? 4 factorial by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. So 3 in, sorry, 4C2. 4 factorial by n minus r factorial into r factorial. 4 into 3 into 2 by 2 into 2. It will be 6. So 4C2 is 6. It will be 1 by 6. Correct? Now you guys tell me, what is the probability of exactly choosing one man? So denominator is still 4C2. How will you choose one man? So from the 2 available men, you need to choose one, and the remaining one should be selected from the 2 available women. So that will be 2C1. So what is the probability of you choosing 2 men? It is again 1 by 6. So 2 men available, 2C2 divided by 4C2, that is going to give us 1 by 6. So give me a confirmation. Is it clear? So 16.3 and miscellaneous, you guys can handle it. Right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Anything else that you need from this chapter? I remember trigonometry. Before that, is there anything that you need from this chapter? So that silence, can I take it as no? Nothing? Shall I move on to trigonometry? Yeah, at least tell me yes or no for that. One guy is
Yes, sir.
communicating with me for the whole time. Okay. Trigonometry class 11 NCERT. Others are sleeping, huh? Listen. So it is only fourth exercise, correct? This is the exercise for which you need help. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay, we'll start with this. So just to check your basic, you know what are trigonometric equations? You know what are basically, you know what is an equation, right? Any equation which has an, any expression which has an equal to symbol can be called as an equation. For example, x square plus x plus 1. What is this? So what do I call this as? X square plus x plus 1. If I write something like this, what do I call it as?
Expression.
It is an expression. Rather, it's a polynomial, right? It is some expression in terms of x. If I put an equal to 0, then what does it become? It becomes a quadratic equation. Similarly, x cube plus 1 is a third degree polynomial. If I put it becomes a cubic equation. That's it. Simple logic. Similarly, then what should be a trigonometric equation? Instead of using algebraic variables, if you use trigonometric variables, then it becomes a trigonometric expression. For example, sin x is equal to 0. Sin square x plus sin x 1 is equal to 0. All these things are called as trigonometric equations. So in this trigonometric equations, there are two things that you can find out. Listen to us. So in these trigonometric equations, you can either find a particular solution or a general solution. 1 minute. Right. You find either a particular solution or a general solution. So what do you mean by particular? For example, if I have an expression sin x is equal to 0, then if I ask you, what are all the values of, so what is the value of x that you will substitute here so that it becomes a 0? So what will you say? You will say x is equal to 0. Or you can say x is equal to pi. So 0, pi, individually, if you present only one number, let's say x is equal to 0, you're saying, or x is equal to pi, you're saying, where I'm putting a condition like this, sin x is equal to 0, and the domain of this function is between 0 to pi by 2. Now you give me a solution. So what will you give? You'll say x is equal to 0. This is the solution you will give, because that x is equal to 0 belongs to the domain. But generally, when I say sin x is equal to 0, what is the domain of x? What is the domain of it?
N pi.
It is real numbers, domain of x. I'm not asking solution. You're getting confused between both. Sin x is there, no? I'm asking when I say sin x is equal to 0, if I don't give you any restriction, in general, what is the domain of sin x? You know the domain of sin x is x belongs to R. That is, you can substitute any real number. You know this fact or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. So that is what I asked. So what I'm trying to say is, now when I put sin is x is equal to 0 and I extend the domain to the real number system, and I'm asking you give the solution, at the time you need to give me the general solution. General solution that I'm trying to. So sin x is equal to 0 happens at 0, then pi, then at 2 pi, then at 3 pi. It keeps, so 0 plus or minus pi, plus or minus 2 pi, plus or minus 3 pi, and so on. So what will you get? X will be equal to, how will you write it? You told me just now. It is belongs to the integer set. Is that clear? So sin x is equal to 0 means blindly you can write x is equal to n pi. So that is going to be the general solution. Whereas in certain cases, you will write the particular solution. So when will you write the particular solution? When the domain of that function is restricted to a particular region. Okay. Now the next question is, what if I have a trigonometric function like this? Cos x is equal to 0. Then what will be the value of x? Where
2n
here
plus 1 by right.
so how did you get it? So x will this will become 0 at plus or minus pi by 2, plus or minus 3 pi by 2, plus or minus 5 pi by 2. It keeps on going like this, right? So some multiple of pi by 2. What is that sum multiple? What is the multiplication factor of that
Odd
pi by 2?
integer.
So when I say odd, even number plus 1 is also odd, or even number minus 1 is also odd. You can write either of them. You're able to understand? You can write either of them, but I think in your textbook, this is what they follow. Let me check it once. So they would have used 2n plus 1, correct? They use 2n plus 1, but remember the fact that you can write 2n minus 1 also. There is no harm in it. Why is it so? Because to an even number, 2n is an even number, you add 1 or subtract 1, it is still an odd number. Okay. Third, the simplest trigonometric function, if I put tan x is equal to 0, then what is going to be the general solution for it? X will be 0 plus or minus pi plus or minus 2 pi. It keeps on going, because when tan x is equal to 0 should have the same solution as that of sin x is equal to 0. Then what will be the value? X will be equal to n pi, where here also n belongs to z. In all the cases, n belongs to the integer set. Right? These three are very simple, and I'm sure you would have already known this logic. Right? Now comes an important question. Fourth one, it is not necessary that always sin x should be equal to 0. Sin x can be equal to half. Sin x can be equal to 1 by root 2. Right? So when sin x, for example, if it is equal to 1 by root 2, guys, what will you say? Generally, what will we do? Generally, our hand tends to write x is equal to pi by 4. That is 45 degrees. Correct? But what solution is that? X is equal to pi by 4. Is it a particular solution or a general solution?
Particular.
It is a particular solution. So for this, if I have to write a general solution, then what will I write? That is where the important question comes. So what you're supposed to do is, suppose this, you will write it like this, sin pi by 4. Means, why I'm writing it like this is because 1 by root 2 will occur in the sine function for the first time when you substitute pi by 4. Correct? So if suppose the question is something like this, sin x is equal to sin y or sin alpha for that matter. Where in this example, what sin x is sin x only, alpha is how much? In this example, for example, it is pi by 4, correct? Now, any idea of what is the solution for this?
X equals pi by 4. Take the particular solution.
No. You write n pi plus of minus 1 power n into alpha. You have seen this?
Yes, sir.
That is the solution. But how did you get it? Let us see. Sin x minus sin alpha is equal to 0. So what is sin c minus sin d? Minus 2 cos of x plus alpha by 2 sin of x minus alpha by 2 is equal to 0. Correct? I'm showing you the proof now. Now, cos of x plus alpha by 2 can be 0 or sin of x minus alpha by 2 can be 0. So cos of an angle is equal to 0. What is that angle equal to? Just now we saw. Then x plus alpha by 2 is equal to 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. Correct?
Yes, sir.
2 and 2 will get cancelled. Or sin of x minus alpha by 2 na, that angle x minus alpha by 2 should be equal to what?
N pi.
Correct. So here x will be equal to 2n plus 1 into pi minus alpha. Correct? Or x can be equal to 2n pi plus alpha from here. This is from here. Right? So when I say or, is it union or intersection?
Union.
Union, right? So what I should do is, I should combine this general solution and this general solution. So x will be equal to, observe, listen to this very carefully. 2n pi is even multiple of pi, correct? 2n plus 1 pi is odd multiple of pi. So if I take a set of even numbers and odd, so if I take a set of even integers and odd integers, what will I get? If I take a set of even integers and odd integers and combine them and write a set, what set will I get?
Integers only, right?
I'll get an integer set. So I since you said or means union, I will combine both n pi, correct? Then I am able to see here I have minus alpha, here I have plus alpha. So alpha is here. So I'll put a plus sign here. Since I have a plus and minus, see what I'm going to do is minus 1 power c. Can I write this alpha as 2n pi plus of minus 1 power n into alpha? Sorry. Okay, listen. So what I'm saying is alpha is having a negative sign when the value before that minus sign is an odd number. The alpha is having a plus sign when the value before that plus sign is an even number. So plus of this minus 1 is there, right? To this minus 1, I'll put an n on top of it. Now see what is going to happen is, when I put n is equal to 1, 1 is an odd number or even number? Obviously, an odd number. Then here, what will you put n as? You'll put it as 1. Correct? So when n is equal to 1, x will come out as pi minus alpha. Where did I get this pi minus alpha? From here. Similarly, if I put n is equal to 2, then what will I get? 2 pi plus alpha. Where did I get 2 pi plus alpha? I got it from here. Are you guys clear with why we are putting this minus 1 to the whole power n? It
So,
is
but why
because,
aren't we writing 2 n pi instead of n pi?
where are we writing 2 n pi?
No, so like, why are we writing n pi instead of 2
This
n
way.
pi?
That is what I'm trying to say. Listen. Or means you told me union. Correct? So in union, what are you going to do? Look at, so in both the cases, x is containing two terms. Accepted. What is the term? That first term is something multiplied with pi. Second term is alpha. Listen to this carefully, okay? Second term is alpha. In this case, first term is something, some multiple of pi, and the second term is alpha. Is that point clear? Just give me a confirmation for every step.
Yes, sir.
That point is clear, right? Now what I'm trying to do is I'm combining both these x value and I'm trying to give one general solution. Instead of remembering both, I'm giving you one general solution, one common solution by combining these two. When I combine, I'm concentrating only on the first term. Okay. Now I will erase everything. See. Now you tell me, when I write the first term, so x is x only, x is equal to, when I write the first term, I am clear that pi is a multiple in both the cases, but I'm concerned about its coefficient. Right. So in this case, the coefficient is an even number. In the first case, the coefficient is an odd number. When I combine the even number set, even integer and odd integer, what will I get?
Integer set, that is n.
That is the reason I wrote n there.
Understood, sir.
Okay. And now alpha is there. No, alpha, I'm leaving it as it is. Now I'm concerned about this plus and this minus. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a plus already. I will just do, I'll put a -1 according to trial and error basis. So now understand 2n pi is an odd multiple of pi. Accepted? 2n plus 1 pi,
Yes,
sorry,
sir.
2n is an odd multiple. So when odd multiple of pi is there, what is the coefficient alpha is taking? Is it taking a negative coefficient or a positive? It is taking negative. When pi, when it is even multiple of pi, what is the coefficient alpha is taking? It is taking +1. So -1 power, I'll put an n here. Where is that n derived from? The n is derived from here. Now you check and see. Now you check and see. If I put n as an odd integer, what will I get? If I put n is equal to 1, what will be my solution? X will be equal to pi minus alpha. Correct? So if I put the same n is equal to 1 here, what will I get? I'm getting 3 pi minus. Wait. That is the reason I told you can either write it as 2n plus 1 or 2n minus 1. Actually, more correct way is to write it as 2n minus 1. That is the most appropriate way. Okay. So don't worry about the proof. Understand the logic here. So you understood 2n minus 1, you're convinced, right? 2n minus 1 into pi by 2, you're convinced.
Yes, sir.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is when I put n is equal to 1, what will this give you?
Pi minus alpha.
Pi minus alpha. The same thing this formula is also giving, no? So this formula is a combined expression of this and this.
Understood, sir.
So that is the reason why this formula alone looks something different from others. So it is n pi plus of -1 power n into alpha. So your job is not this complicated. If suppose they ask you a question, sin x is equal to 1 by root 2, first what you're supposed to do is, you will write this 1 by root 2 in terms of sin. Sin of, you will put a principal value. There is something called as a principal value. What is the principal value? Principal value is that value which will give you the output 1 by root 2 for the first time. So when you start from 0, when will you get 1 by root 2 for the first time?
Pi by 4.
Pi by 4. So in this question, alpha is pi by 4. So x, what will you write? N pi plus of -1 power n into pi by 4. That is the solution. If you report this answer, anybody will understand that you have written the solution for sin x is equal to sin alpha. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is the only one which is complicated. Other things are easy. So fourth we are done, right? Now the fifth one is cos x is equal to cos alpha. Okay. So what will I do? Cos x minus cos alpha is equal to 0. You tell me the steps. -2 sin of x plus alpha by 2 sin of x minus alpha by 2 is equal to 0. So sin of x plus alpha by 2 is how much? 0, or sin of x minus alpha by 2 is 0. Correct? Then what will x plus alpha by 2 in this case will be?
N pi.
N pi. And x minus alpha by 2 in this case will be n pi. So x plus alpha will be 2n pi, x minus alpha will be 2n pi. So I hope you're able to understand. I'm solving both of them simultaneously. So x is equal to 2n pi minus alpha, x is equal to 2n pi plus alpha. So if I combine these two and write, what will I get? X will be equal to 2n pi, 2n pi. I'm not disturbing 2n pi. Alpha is there. I'm not, since the previous term is always going to be even, I'll put a plus or minus. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So I'm sure you would have seen this formula, right? Suppose the question is cos x is equal to 1 by 2. How will you solve? So I'm taking simple examples. When I solve the exercise problems, I'll give you a little complicated. So cos x is equal to half. This will be cos pi by 3, correct? Then x will be equal to how much? 2n
2n
pi.
pi plus or minus pi.
That's it. That is what you're supposed to do. Okay. Shall I do the last one also? Sixth one. Tan x is equal to tan alpha. Okay. So tan x I can write it as sin x by cos x is equal to sin alpha by cos alpha. Cross multiply sin x cos alpha minus cos x sin alpha is equal to 0. Correct? So sin x cos, so sin of x minus alpha is equal to 0, which implies x minus alpha is equal to how much? N pi. Then x will be equal to how much? N pi plus alpha. So this is the general solution for tan x is equal to tan alpha. That is, if tan x is equal to root 3, for example, this you will write it as tan of pi by 3. Up n x is how much? N pi plus of pi by 3. So these are the 6 trigonometric equations for which you're supposed to memorize the solutions. So if I have to summarize it, sin x is equal to 0, cos x is equal to 0, and tan x is equal to 0. Then sin x is equal to sin alpha, cos x is equal to cos alpha, tan x is equal to tan alpha. So here x is equal to n pi, here x is equal to 2n minus 1 into pi by 2 or 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. See, this part alone, right? Listen to this carefully. This one, I'm not taking any decision. Whatever your teacher has asked to do in the school, write that. But according to me, both are right. If suppose if I'm supposed to correct the paper, you write either of them, I'll give you marks. But if your teacher is very particular that you should write only 2n plus 1 pi by 2, since it is given in NCERT, go with it. But I'm more concerned about logic. Okay. So here, x will be equal to n pi. So sin x is equal to sin alpha, x is equal to n pi plus of minus 1 power n into alpha. Cos x is equal to cos alpha is 2n pi plus or minus alpha. And here x is equal to n pi only plus alpha. These are the solutions. And if you're able to memorize them, solving problems is not a big deal. If you're clear with this, whichever problem you say, I will solve it and show. So if you guys have made a note of this, please let me know which problem you want me to solve. Okay. Shall I proceed to solving problems?
Yes, sir.
Right. So where is it? See, only difference is if you read the textbook, right? Instead of y, I wrote it as alpha. That is the only difference. So except that formula and all are same. N pi plus or minus n power n into alpha and all those things. Okay. See, for example, example number 20, sin x is equal to minus root 3 by 2. Right? Sin x is equal to minus root 3 by 2. Now the question is, see, I'll tell you the technique to solve this problem. Guys, are you able to hear some drum sounds or something? Is it disturbing you from my side?
Sir, it's fine.
Fine, right? But are you able to hear? I try to close the door. Are you able to hear it clearly?
No, sir.
No, right? Okay. Some disturbance. Okay. So sin x is equal to minus root 3 by 2. Listen to the logic, okay? So this minus root 3 by 2 you are writing, no? Now you need to think, where will sine give you negative value for the first time? Where will sine give you negative value for the first time? Third quadrant, right? So had it been plus, so whatever I'm saying, you do it as a rough work. See, if you're already well versed, I don't have a problem. Okay. So if you're not, but you still have this kind of a doubt, no, follow the steps. First, had it been a positive value, then what will be the value of sine that you need to take into consideration?
5 by 3.
So you would have taken sine 5 by 3, right? 1 minute, 1 minute. Some election campaign, guys. Sorry. 5 by 3 is there, no? So since you are saying minus root 3 by 2, negative, no? So third quadrant means what will be the angle? So had it been first quadrant, it would have been pi by 3. So third quadrant means what? You need to add pi to this pi by 3. Then what will happen? This is actually sine of pi plus pi by 3. Did you understand why I added this pi?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this will become sine of 4 pi by 3. Now the solution is easy. X is equal to n pi plus of minus 1 power n into 4 pi by 3. That's it. So what are you supposed to do? Wherever a problem has a negative value, whether it is for sine, cos, or tan, you should always find the acute angle. So acute angle that you have found is pi by 3. After you find the acute angle, you find the quadrant in which that particular angle becomes negative for the first time. Okay. It is n pi plus of minus 1 power n into 4 pi by 3.
Understood, sir.
Okay. Next. Now cos x is equal to half. This half means cos pi by 3. See, for example, so this you can solve. X will be equal to 2n pi plus or minus pi by 3. That is the solution. Tan 2x is minus cot x pi by 3. So how to solve this? So tan 2x is equal to minus cot of x plus pi by 3. What can you write it as? These people are disturbing. So minus cot of x plus pi by 3 means this can be written as, so since this side is tan, right, and we know the general solution only for tan, not for cot. And since we don't know for cot, what we'll do is we'll convert this cot into tan. So it will become tan of, can I write it as pi by 2 plus this value? Why did I write pi by 2 plus? Because tan of pi by 2 plus theta is minus cot theta. That is happening for the first time. So this is tan 2x, right? So tan 2x is equal to tan of, what is pi by 2 plus pi by 3, guys?
5 pi by 6.
5 pi by 6. Okay. Tan 2x is equal to, tan 2x is equal to this thing, no? So tan x is equal to tan alpha, then x is equal to n pi plus alpha. Accepted? N pi plus 5 pi by 6. So this will come this side. X will be equal to n pi plus 5 pi by 6. This is the general solution. Did you understand what I did?
Yes, sir.
Are you convinced with the logic? Yeah. So 23rd, this is one more kind of a problem that can be asked. Sine 2x minus sine 4x plus sine 6x is equal to 0. Then what are you supposed to do? You can combine the sine 2x and sine 4x and write. Right? You can write that as 2 sine 4x, not 4x, 2 sine of a plus b by 2. Yeah, correct. 2 sine 4x cos 2x minus sine 4x is equal to 0. So I can take that sine 4x outside. 2 cos 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. So sine 4x is equal to 0 or cos 2x is equal to half. So sine 4x is equal to 0 means how much? 4x is equal to n pi. So x will be equal to n pi by 4, or here what will happen? 2x will be equal to 2n pi plus or minus pi by 3. So x will be equal to n pi plus or minus pi by 6. Accepted? So either this can be the solution or this can be the solution. Here you need not find the union like how we did in the derivation. You can leave the answer as it is because you can't find the intersection. It will be a complicated one. Guys, is there anything else that you want me to help from this exercise? Is there any other doubt that you have where you feel your basics are not good?
No.
No, right? So
No,
just
sir.
for my satisfaction, third and fourth alone will complete it. Okay. So because they have negative values, other things I'm sure you can handle it. Cot x is equal to minus root 3. So I don't want cot x, I'll convert it to tan x. Tan x is minus 1 by root 3. So where does tan x become negative for the first time?
Second quadrant.
Second quadrant. So had it been 1 by root 3, what would have been the acute angle? Pi by?
Pi by 6.
Okay. So second quadrant, what is the angle format? Pi minus pi by 6. Huh?
Yes, sir.
You can ask me pi by 2 plus pi by 6 also. You will not write as pi by 2 plus pi by 6 because if you write pi by 2, then the function will get transformed to complementary function. So always try to write it in terms of pi only. So tan x will be equal to tan of pi minus pi by 6. The tan of 5 pi by 6. This is tan x. So what will be the value of x? N pi plus 5 pi by 6. That's it. Okay. So we'll do one last problem. Cosecant x is equal to minus 2. Then sin x is equal to minus half. So sin x is equal to minus half means sine of how much, guys? What is the acute angle?
Pi plus
Acute
pi by
angle
6.
pi by 6. Since it is sine occurs to become negative value for the first time in the third quadrant, it will be pi plus pi by 6. It is sine of 7 pi by 6. And this is sin x. So x will be how much term? N pi plus of minus 1 power n into 7 pi by 6. That's it. Right. Remaining problems, you guys can handle it, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. In spite of it, if you need any help, please reach out to me on the student support number. Okay. That's it, right? Any other doubts?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Okay. You can try them out and reach out to me. All the best. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.